Hello and welcome to the Crazy Knitter Studio podcast. My name is Kristen, also known as Crazy Knitting Fool on Ravelry, and I am your host. Today is Saturday, July 2nd, 2016, and this is episode 23, A New Decade. So I want to say hello to all new and returning viewers. Thanks for checking me out. So starting lineup, the introductions. We did have one introduction in the thread this week from Jenny, who is Lolita on Ravelry, and she lives nearby in Leamington, Ontario, so hello to Jenny. If you would like to have a shout out, please just introduce yourself in the thread, and I will give you a little shout out in the show. I also want to say thanks to Laura from the Knit, Read, Pray podcast, who I mentioned last week. She also gave me a shout out on her latest episode, so thank you. Moving on into Presser, which are the weeks in review. 2 weeks ago, we went to Frankenmuth, Michigan, which is about an hour north of us, and we had chicken dinner. Frankenmuth is known as, they call it Michigan's Little Bavaria. So it's this little village that was apparently founded by German immigrants from Bavaria. And they have lots of little cute touristy, it's a major tourist trap, but it's a cute town. And they have these two restaurants, Zender's, where we always go, and the Bavarian Inn. They're across the street from each other, and they have these chicken dinners that are amazing. I mean, it's so much food. It's like you get coleslaw and bread and different spreads for your bread, and the coleslaw is so good. I love their coleslaw. And you get, then with your meal, you get your chicken, which is so good, and then you get, gravy and mashed potatoes and stuffing and buttered noodles and a vegetable, and then you get ice cream at the end, and it's all you can eat. So good. So we went there. And then when we were done, we walked around a little bit. There was an art fair, but by the time we were done with dinner, it was over. So it was a bummer, but we had fun. And then the next day was Father's Day. So little man and I made cheesecake for my husband, and I made one of his favorites, which is sweet and sour chicken. It is the best sweet and sour chicken outside of a Chinese food restaurant I've ever had. It tastes the most like an actual Chinese food restaurant, which I'm sure is not real Chinese food, but our Americanized Chinese version of sweet and sour chicken, but is a major pain in the butt. So you got to cut up the chicken, you dredge it in egg and cornstarch, and then you fry it, and then you put this sauce over it that has ketchup and soy sauce and vinegar and sugar, and you bake it for an hour, and you have to stir it every 15 minutes. It's a pain, but it's really good. So that's what we had for Father's Day, and it was a good day. And then I had some time off with little man because he was out of school and his camp didn't start. We had a week gap there, so I took Thursday and Friday of last week off with him. So we had some fun. We went to the park. We went somewhere else I'll talk about later. So we had a good time. He stayed with my husband one day. My dad came out one day, and my sister came out one day to watch him for us. So that was nice. And now he's in camp. He's having fun. Sounds like way more fun than going to work. They get to have different things. Like Monday, their first day, they had a petting zoo. And then Wednesday, they went to the actual zoo. And then Thursday is like Spirit Day, so they get to do different things. This week it was wear a shirt with your favorite animal. Next week it's hats. And then on Fridays, they get to have Splash Day and popsicles. So, and they go on a field trip every week. So they went to the zoo, like I said, this week. And next week they're going on the riverboat. And they're also going to like the Palace of Auburn Hills where the Pistons play and having a tour. And they're going to the movies. Probably going to go see the movie that we saw, but oh well. And they're going to an actual theater, a community theater here. And where else are they going? They're going bowling. And they're going to Joe Dumar's field house. Joe Dumars used to play for the Pistons, and he was the general manager for a while. And he has this field house up the street where they have all kinds of athletic, they have basketball courts, tennis courts, they have all kinds of stuff. And then their actual last day camp, they're going to Pump It Up, which is like a bouncy house place. They actually had to sign the waiver that, we're not going to sue you if he falls and breaks his arm or anything for that trip. So he's having a good time. And then the reason why I'm calling this episode a new decade. Last Sunday, the podcast turned 1, and I turned 40. Yeah. June was a bad month. I had a lot of issues. I thought it was all related to like the end of the school year and like all this kind of stuff and starting soccer and little man, not me. But hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Alrighty, okay. So anyway, so June was a bad month. So Saturday, again, my nose, if you're new, you probably don't know this, but every time I go to record, my nose starts to itch. Anyway, so last Saturday was bad. I was just crabby. Little man and I were together. He was getting on my nerves. I mean, I love the kid, but we had already been together Thursday all day, Friday all day. I went upstairs and took like a 2.5 hour nap. I never do that when we're here alone. I don't feel comfortable leaving him down here. I mean, he's almost 8. He knows he doesn't touch things. He's too lazy to get up and try to do anything. Nah, I shouldn't say that, but you know, he will go, "Mommy," you know, he doesn't try to get his own snacks or drinks or anything, even if he's perfectly capable of doing it. So, but I don't know. But like, it was weird. I woke up Sunday morning, he came in, woke me up, was like, "Happy birthday, Mommy." And it was like this huge weight had been lifted. And it was like, it must have just been the anticipation of the day. And then the day was here. And it's like, okay, there's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well just move on. So we went out to dinner with my family. And I didn't even get upset about the old people cards that they gave me, which they're all older, except for my nieces, of course. But I'm like, well, if I'm old, then you're really old. But it was okay. It was nice. So for my birthday, well, not for my birthday, but starting on my birthday, I decided to do I had downloaded this app. It's called 1 Second a Day. And you take a video and then you choose like a 1 second snippet, which sounds like, I mean, obviously it's not a lot, but I saw it through the Elise Gets Crafty blog and podcast, and she's been doing it for a while. So I decided to give it a try. So I've been doing that. I started on my birthday, figure for the year, my 40th year, I'll have a little 1 second clip. If I don't do it, I don't do it. It's kind of hard actually to come up with stuff. Like today's little video was me working out on the exercise bike. Real exciting. But I guess it's supposed to be like your day-to-day life. It's not supposed to be, you know, the grand events. So anyway, so that's what's been going on around here. So moving on into the first downs, which are the whips. First up is my Bumpy Road 2.0 shawl. It's the Bumpy Road pattern by me. This is size 4, 3.5 millimeter needles, and I'm using Deborah Norville Serenity Sock in purple. Again, not much progress. Where I was, where I am. But it's coming along. It's really nice. So, the second first down is my Little Angel blanket, which is the Little Angel baby blanket by me again. This is size 8, 5.0 millimeter needles, and it's Red Heart Super Saver in lemon. Here we go. And I finally got smart and put stitch markers in between the 2 cable repeats so I don't have to count. I went to college. I'm smart. Okay, so is it on this side? Must be on this side. Like I know I have a marker in here. Okay, so quite a bit. Here's where I was. Here's where I am. So quite a bit of progress on that one. This one's a little bit easier than the other one, design-wise. Okay, so third whip, first down is the Rose City Rollers pattern. It's free on Ravelry by Myra Catherine Briner. These I am knitting on size 1, 3, what is the size, or 2.25 millimeter needles. And the yarn is Green Mountain Spinnery Sock Art Forest in Sarsaparilla. I keep meaning to change these. I want to call them, I thought I dropped a stitch, but I didn't. I want to call them my Root Beer City Rollers since the color Sarsaparilla. I'm a dork, I know. Anyway. So I had finished last time the first sock and I started the second one. And I got to the heel turn. So now I just need to pick up the gusset stitches and do the foot. So hopefully those will be done by next time. All right, number 4, first down number 4 is the Doctor Who Blanket Square number 9. This is the Vote Saxon dishcloth pattern by Holly Nerf. I'm using size 6, 4.0 millimeter needles in Knit Picks Mighty Stitch in chocolate. Oh, wait a minute, oops, wrong one. What did I do with the, oops, technical difficulties. Sorry, moving on. You can't really see it, but there's the Vote Saxon pattern. And here I am. Not a lot of progress, but a little bit. So, all right. Next up, the one that you just saw, is I decided on my birthday that morning, well, I decided that I was going to cast something on for myself for my birthday. 40th birthday cast on. So I cast on the Autumn Morning Shawl, which is Autumn Morning pattern by Holly Dapp, who is the host of the Swift Knits podcast. So I'm using Knit Picks palette in Blue Note Heather and Oyster Heather. So the oyster, or it's just oyster. The oyster will be the edging. So here we go. And I got quite a bit done. It's a little boomerangy type style. Very easy, just actually very easy. So easy I messed it up a couple of times, but not, I mean, not too bad, just forgetting which side I was on, which side I was supposed to do the increase where. All right, so my phone ran out of space. I had to download the previous videos onto my computer, so this is going to take forever to upload because it's going to be in like 3 files. Oh well. So moving on into touchdowns, which are the ethos. So first up, I have another Christmas ornament. So I'm calling this the Green Bird of Happiness. It is the Blue Bird of Happiness pattern by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner. Size 4, 3.5 millimeter needles, and the yarn is Lion Brand Woolies in Forest Green Heather. I love this pattern. It's so cute and it's quick and easy. And then second touchdown is my preemie hat number 12 for the year, which is the Bitty Cabled Hat by Heather Cabanas. Size 3, 3.25 millimeter needles, and the yarn is Sheep Dreamery Chop Tank in Emerald City. It's a cute little cabled hat. And then finally, touchdown number 3 is the Toddler Market Bag by Heather Blum. Or I'm calling this I call it my project, the Yellow Market Bag. And it's size 8, 5.0 millimeter needles, and the yarn is Sugar and Cream in Sunshine. So here we go, where I was last time, and then all the way down. So again, I love this pattern. It's quick and easy. It's easy to remember. You can make it as big as you want. It's really nice. All right, so moving on into turnovers, which are mistakes. Like I mentioned my inability to remember where I am on the autumn morning, but I also ran out of yarn on that preemie hat. But so I had to cut back one repeat, but oh well, it doesn't matter. All right, training camp, future projects. So I want to finish my blue artichoke sock. So here's sock number 1. Finished it a long, long time ago. I need to finish sock number 2. That has been on the needles for like a year and a half. I have to start sock number 2 over. At least rip back to the ribbing, I think, because I have no clue where I am in the lace pattern because I put it down and I didn't write it down because, you know, I wasn't expecting to put it down for months on end, but oh well. And then I also want to do some knitted knockers, which if you're not sure what those are, they're breast forms, I guess you could call them, for women who have had mastectomies before they can get either their reconstructive surgery done or their permanent form. So they make them out of cotton, and I have a bunch of mercerized cotton yarn that I ripped out. That was a bag that I had never finished a few years ago, so I'm gonna make some of those. So okay, the next big section, be prepared, is concessions or purchases. So first up, I won a bag from Girl Cave Bags from the Whole Lotta Craft podcast. Here it is. It's very cute. I love it. It's very roomy. I have my baby blanket right now in here. It works really well. And then I also won some yarn from the Moms with Yarn podcast for their Remembering Remy Preemie hat knit along they hold every year. So the first one that I won, it's from Creatively Dyed. It's Calypso, which is 100% superwash merino. It's worsted. Is that the worsted or is this the worsted? Okay, this is the fingering. All right. And the yarn, it's called Native. It's orange and green and blue. It does remind me of, like, you know, some island somewhere. So that's pretty. I like that. And then this is the worsted, which is Woodland, or Woodbrook, sorry. And the pattern is, colorway is called Rum. So it's red and orange, and there's some blue. And then last Saturday, I decided to take my money that I get from my dad every year for my birthday and buy myself some stuff. I called it I'm turning 40 tomorrow, so I'm going to drown my sorrows in yarn purchases from Joann's. So little man and I went out and I bought quite a bit. So I bought 5 skeins of sugar and cream to make market bags and dishcloths. So first up is Psychedelic, which is psychedelic. I've used this colorway before and it bleeds on your fingers. Not bad. And it turned my needles blue. But I like it. It's pretty. I like it. And then this one is Beach Ball Blues, which is blues and purples and green and white. And then this one is Over the Rainbow. So pink and green and orange and white. And then this one is Swimming Pool. So different shades of blue. Like that one. It's pretty. And then the last one is Hot Orange. So I'm going to use this to make, I don't know if I'm going to do a dishcloth. I have a pattern for a baseball dishcloth. Or if I'm going to use it for a market bag, but I'm going to use this for the Innis Knit Batter Up Cal because it has to be baseball related. So if I do the baseball dishcloth pattern, that's obviously baseball related, but this is Detroit Tiger Orange. So there we go. And I also picked up 2 skeins of Lion Brand Heartland, and this color is Isle Royal. So it's a purpley color. I love purple, it's my favorite. So here's the other skein. So, not sure what I'm going to make with those. And then I also picked up 2 skeins of Patton's Croy Socks FX. And this color is called Celestial Colors. So it's my favorites. Again, purples and blues and greens. And then, last but not least, I bought some Clover bamboo size 1s because I needed more. Because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose one. So, that was my yarn purchases. So moving on into the film room, which is books, TV, etc. My reading has really gone downhill the last couple weeks. I have not finished a book since last time. So I'm still reading Carpool Confidential by Jessica Benson. It's okay. It's chick lit. It's like, again, it's what you expect. But it's a little, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'll finish it. It's not that bad, but it's not the best book I've ever read. So then, last Friday, Little Man and I went to the movies, and we went and saw Finding Dory, which is the sequel, of course, to Finding Nemo. And I liked it. It wasn't obviously as good as Finding Nemo, because nothing is ever as good as the original, but, you know, Ellen DeGeneres was good. And, you know, the one thing I don't like is I should always look this up before we go, is trying to figure out whose voices are. So I was trying to figure out who was voicing the octopus. And I think it was Ed O'Neill. Now I can see, I can't even remember now. But, you know, I should look it up beforehand, so I'm not spending the whole movie going, I know that voice, where do I know that voice from? But we went, it was fun. We went, we had snacks, and we had a good time. Clark liked it. And he sat pretty well. When we went and saw Zootopia earlier in the year, towards the end of the movie, he was like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Is it over yet? And I was worried he was going to be like that during this one, because you have all the previews, and then they even had a little short, like 15-minute short film. So I really thought he was, but he did not. He did not. When it was over and the lights came on, he was like, okay, let's go. He was ready to leave, but he didn't complain about it. And so okay, so moving on into not so cute, nice stuff. I watched the first 2 episodes of O.J. Simpson Made in America. So this is put on by the people at ESPN who do 30 for 30, all their little video movies. And it starts when he goes to college, when he goes to USC, and how, you know, it was the 60s and they were trying to get all these athletes involved, you know, in the civil rights movement, and how he didn't want to be involved. He famously said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. So, you know, the second episode goes into his marriage with Nicole, and, you know, up until, you know, they actually are over, like she is actually done with him and is filing for divorce. So, moving on, I'm sure the next episodes are not going to be fun. I hear the 5th one is pretty graphic, because they show a lot of the pictures from the murder scene, and that's the thing about this, is I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget, is there's all this talk about OJ, and he was this bigger than life star, and like about the time and the frame and the tensions between the black community and the LAPD. And yes, that's important, but it gets lost a lot of times. I think that 2 people were very brutally murdered. And you had 2 families who lost their loved ones, and you have 2 children who lost their mother, and then, you know, pretty much have lost their father. I mean, they're orphans for most intents and purposes. I mean, I know they're adults now, but, you know, that's what gets lost, is, you know, that. So I'm kind of glad that they put those in to remind people, like, hey, you know, don't forget that 2 people here were brutally murdered, because it was ugly. It was bad. So, moving on. I also watched American Gothic, which is a mini-series for the summer. It's they call it a 13-part murder mystery. So it's about this very prominent family in Boston, and the one daughter is running for mayor, and so the family gets together. They're trying to, you know, do photo opportunities and everything. And okay, so there's four kids. So there's the daughter who's running for mayor, there's another daughter who's a teacher, and her husband is a police detective. And then they have their son, who is a artist. He does comics, and he's also a recovering drug addict. And then they have another son who has been gone for like 14 years. And he comes back when he finds out that their father has a heart attack. And conveniently, there was a serial killer who 14 years prior suddenly stopped killing in the Boston area. And the youngest daughter and the son, one son, the youngest son, not the one who disappeared, found some evidence in their garage that links their family to the serial killer. And now there's other evidence that's been found. There was a tunnel collapse, and they found some evidence there. And, you know, the one husband is like, this could be, you know, because they never found the serial killer, this could make my career. So he's trying to like really be into it, and it was pretty good. So I only watched the first episode. The second episode aired this week, but it was pretty good so far. And finally this week I watched Greatest Hits on ABC. And they take the greatest hits of decades. So they did 1980 to 1985. This week was the first episode. It's hosted by Arsenio Hall, which is quite hilarious. I used to tape the Arsenio Hall show every night when I was in high school, because it was on a little too late, and watch it in the morning while I was getting ready for school. So it's kind of like a blast from the past here. But so they had different, you know, artists come back and sing their greatest hits. So it was Kenny Loggins did Footloose. They had, okay, I'm almost done. Hopefully my camera will not run out of space again. So moving on to greatest hits. So Kenny Loggins did Footloose. Jason Derulo did Michael Jackson's Human Nature. He actually did a really good job. I was impressed. They had Jesse's Girl, Rick Springfield. I love that song still to this day. They had REO Speedwagon, did Keep on Loving You, and then they had Pitbull come and do his new song that I don't really like, but that samples one of their songs. And Kim Carnes did Betty Davis Eyes. And then they had Kool and the Gang at the end doing Celebration. So it was pretty cool. So this week they're doing 1995 to 2000. They have the Backstreet Boys. They have LL Cool J. I was trying to think who else. Can't remember. But it was fun. It was good summer entertainment. All right. Let's move on into the post game, which is the wrap up. There. All right. So you can contact me on Ravelry. I'm Crazy Knitting Fool. On Twitter, it's Crazy Knit Fool. On Instagram, it's Crazy Knitter Studio. The blog is crazyknitterstudio.blogspot.com. The email is crazyknitterstudio@gmail.com, and the Ravelry group is Crazy Knitter Studio. My next episode will be July 16th or 17th. I don't know if we have a wedding on the 16th, but it's not till 6:30, so I should be able to record it. But it probably won't get uploaded till Sunday, but probably this won't either, so, and then you won't care. So anyway, so I hope all of my fellow Americans have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I hope all of our Canada friends have a good Canada Day weekend, and be careful with those fireworks. It's been very dry here, so we have fireworks bans all over the place. So finally rained on Friday. But I think they're still in place, and they're dangerous anyway. I was the kid who was afraid of sparklers, okay? So, goes to tell you, I'm not shooting anything crazy off. Sparklers scared me. I still don't like them. Anyway, so I hope you have a good couple weeks, and I will see you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.